In this lesson, we're going to look at guitar strumming patterns. So now we've got a bunch of chord progressions that we can play. We need to start making them sound a bit more interesting. And this is where we need to start building up our kind of rhythm around playing. Now, what I've done here is I've just created a new channel, and this is just a MIDI channel. So same as before, just right-clicked, insert MIDI track. And then all I've done down here, you can see this is my last one. And all I've done is I've come up to this area here, and I've right clicked, and you'll see where it says insert scene. So if you press the insert scene, it will add another scene below, okay? So wherever you've got it selected, you press insert scene, and then it'll add it below. So all I did then is just got 9 scenes, and we're going to learn these 9 strumming patterns. Now, the reason I've set up this MIDI track and the reason I've put all these in, because it's really useful to be able to hear the strumming pattern to practice along with. Now remember, because I've got my guitar plugged in, I still need to have this guitar track activated. If this isn't activated, I won't hear my guitar, okay? So make sure you got it on auto, make sure you got this on, make sure you can see the signal, okay? Now, here's strumming pattern 1. So as you can see from the arrows, you've got a few things to take into consideration. There are up and down strokes. If you just mute your guitar, and on this, if you just count where it says plus, you should say an and, okay? So go 1, and that's down, and is up, 2 is down, and is up, 3 is down, and is up, 4 is down, and is up. And that's a 2-bar phrase, just down, up, down, up, down, up. So how I would count it is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Once you've got that rhythm, you could then just put a chord down. So I'm going to use an A minor chord. So here we go. Here's my A minor chord, and I'm just going to practice that rhythm. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we can develop it. So for all of these strumming patterns that we've got here, I'm going to use chord progression 1. So I'm going to use a bar of A minor, a bar of C, a bar of G, and then a bar of E minor. Okay, so we're going to build up to that. Now to start off with, I've actually set my BPM at 80 BPMs. But as I get better, what I want to do is speed it up to a kind of more reasonable speed, say 120, and just try and play at speed. So the reason I've kind of created these MIDI patterns, if I click on this, I've just inputted, it's just a Latin percussion pack. So I've come to the packs, and I've come to Latin percussion, and I've come down to this Columbia. And the reason is just because I want to hear the percussive sound rather than the strumming sound. So all I've done here is for the downstrokes, I've used the lower note, so I can see it's a downstroke, and for the upstrokes, I've used the higher note, so I can see it's an upstroke. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One thing I had to do in order to hear these notes that I'm clicking on now is this monitor button wasn't turned on. So if it's greyed out, you're not going to hear anything. So just make sure you got your monitor button on. Okay, so let's play it. Okay, another thing you're going to notice that I've done is I've actually taken my grid size down to eighths. Because each of these ups and downs is an eighth, you can see, so it's no point having it at 16th, it just might confuse the issue. So I've just reduced all of the pattern down to eighths. So each grid line represents either an upstroke or a downstroke, okay? So it makes it really quite easy to read. Next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to try and play along to this pattern playing underneath me. So I'm going to press play, and then I'm going to play along. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And once I've got that, I'm going to start adding the chords. So let's add the chords in now. So as you can hear, a few issues there, but we're going to get there. We're going to keep practicing. And once you've done that, you're going to then come over to this channel and you're going to record your guitar in with the actual part again. So should we try? I'm still a bit rusty, but we'll give it a try. So here we go. We can turn this off. So let's just turn them all off. And we're probably going to need a drum pattern, actually thinking about it. So let's drag this all the way down to there. And then I can just Control D to duplicate it, and then I can put that one back up there. So now we've got a drum pattern to play along with. So let me activate that one. Okay, so when we're ready, we're going to press record. So it sounds like there's a 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and down, up, down, up, down. Okay, let's press record and see how we get on. Okay, so it needs a bit of work. So we're just going to trim this up, and if it's no good, we'll just delete it and we'll try it again. So let's just have a little play, see how out of time I was. So let's play them all together. So yeah, needs a bit more practice, not really happy with that, so just press delete and then we can come back and we can do that one again. Okay, so that's pattern number 1. Once you've mastered that, let's move on to pattern number 2. Let me just take all of these out of focus. Now pattern number 2 is quite an interesting one. It starts to get a bit more song-like at this point because we're just playing the downstroke. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now on that last one, on the second bar, you've got the upstroke on 4, so it's on 4 and. So it goes 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Okay, so let's try and play it with this. Brilliant. And actually that's a little bit easier to play than the last one. But like I just did with the first one, is I just started off just by playing one chord. And I was just playing the A minor over and over and over just to get the rhythm right. And then I added the other chords, A minor, C, G and E minor. And it does take you a bit of time to build up to that. And once again, as I said in the previous lesson, you should be practicing 15 minutes every day. Don't move on from these strumming patterns until you've nailed it, okay? So, you know, practice 5-10 minutes on one strumming pattern, get to a good position, then try the next one, okay? Just take your time with it. Okay, the next one then for you guys to practice is strumming pattern 3. So let's have a listen to this and we'll try and play along with it. Remembering that the high notes here are my when I'm strumming upwards, and the lower notes are when I'm strumming downwards, okay? So we'll just do it on A minor again. Okay, messed up on the last chord, but you get the idea with that one. So if you need to pause the video now, please do and practice that one. Let's just move on because I want to show you all of these 9. So I'm just going to move on to pattern number 4. And we're going to play it first, and then we're going to try and play along with it. So listen to it first. Okay, so that's quite a nice one. So here we are onto strumming pattern 5. Like I said, these are going to take you a little bit of time to master, but just keep listening to them. And if you need to set up this kind of pattern in your own sequencer, you should definitely do it, because there's no better aid than actually just playing along with them, okay? So if you want to kind of pause the video, copy what I've done down into your own sequencer, and then practice along to what you've got, I really recommend that. And then you'll have it for future practice as well. So here we go. So we're on to pattern 5. Let's have a listen, and then I'll play along for you. Yeah, sorry about that. So I've still got to practice that one a little bit as well. I was doing it over 2 bars each chord just to kind of give myself a bit of time, but still need a little bit more practice on that one. So let's look at number 7 now. Sorry, number 6. So number 6, let's play it and let's see if we can kind of get this one down as well. So just on the A minor first, just until we're ready with it. Oh. And also, what you're going to start noticing about some of these patterns, especially in this next one, is there's this B note. And that's just basically play a bass note. And if you're holding the chord down at a beginner level, it doesn't really matter which bass note. Ideally, they want the root note of the chord. But actually, at a beginner level, as long as you play one of the lower notes on the top of your guitar, it doesn't really matter at this stage. So what this one sounds like is you're just going to play a bass note, followed by a down strum, up strum, and then a bass note. Down strum, up strum, and then back to the beginning. So it goes. Okay, so let's hear that with the actual track and see if we can play along with that one. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do here, just to make this a bit more obvious myself. I might just change the velocity, just so it gives it a different colour, so I know that when I'm practicing I'm not looking at the other screen. I can just see that this should be a bass note, so I'm just going to turn it down, and just gives me a bit of a visual representation of the fact that it's a bass note. So let's try that one again. On this one. No. Now let's try this one. This is a bit more complex. So let's go for it all the way through. Okay, so it was okay. It needs a lot of practice, and you know, it does really matter that you get the root note, but just for our beginner stages, we're just playing any of those two lower strings. So let's move on to pattern 8. And remember, you guys should definitely be recording these in once you've had a lot more practice. Practice it, record it in. That's the consolidation method that we're using here. So next pattern, let's have a little look. And we've got that same B note, and it's just on the first one this time. So I'm just going to click this one. I'm going to turn this note down just so I know it's got to be a bass note. So here we go. And so on. Okay, last but no means least, we're on to number 9, and we've got the same bass notes again, so I'm just going to come in here. I should have done this ahead of time really, but not to worry. Just make sure we know that we are clicking those on that one. Okay, so here we go again. Okay, one thing that proves is that my guitar skills need a lot more tweaking, but we got there and we had a little look. Now the next process, now I've kind of practiced these, is definitely to come over to my record channel and actually lay down some drums and actually record these in and just kind of get it to perfection. That's what we're looking for, okay? So I reckon you're going to need to spend quite a bit of time on this. Remember, 15 minutes a day is what we're aiming for. Practice your chord progressions, practice your strumming patterns. Online you will find loads more strumming patterns, so have a go at some of them as well. But this is a good 9 to start with. Okay, so we'll finish off with just a little bit of homework in the next video.